Today I'm flipping through my Sterling Ink Common Planner for Q1. I have changed a couple of things with the front matter since I posted my first video, adding this full page sticker from Creating & Co., filling in full moons and new moons, along with my own monthly dot tracker. My yearly tracker went through some revisions. For the first month in January, I was using it as a sort of complicated exercise tracker, and I decided that this was just too much clutter, too much visual information to be able to parse easily, so I changed it to a YouTube tracker, an icon for the days that I post a video, as well as a subscriber count. It's pretty encouraging and it's pretty fun to fill this in. I'm using the quarterly spreads as a writing count tracker, so these are my daily word counts. This is the projects that I'm working on that month, and a little overview at the bottom for how many words I wrote and on how many days. Since I started keeping track of my word count in my Hobonichi last year, I find it really interesting to have the data 2 years in a row to be able to compare. Despite having some blank spots here, I'm really not that worried about it. Right now it's not bothering me, and I know I have plenty of time to go in and fill it in, even retroactively. I think it's kind of nice to journal in retrospect, in addition to having times where you might journal immediately, because when you journal immediately, you capture your fresh and immediate thoughts. But when you journal retrospectively, you capture your long-term thoughts. You capture the thoughts that actually stuck with you, the thoughts that you remember, the thoughts that still have an impact on you even months later. And I think that kind of data is also still really important to show you what was preserved, what stayed with you, what stuck with you. So after the quarterly spreads, we get into the monthly spreads, and this is where I made media trackers for myself. I have changed a little bit about the format from month to month. So there's a lot of things I really like about this. You can tell I was really experimenting in this first month. I was writing down my music playlist, webtoons I was reading, the books that I finished reading. I also did a little tracker here for subscriber counts just because it went meow, and that was kind of satisfying. I didn't repeat this again though. A couple of important days marked with these stickers, but everything else here on the list is all media. It's books I was reading, it's YouTube videos I was watching, tabletop role-playing games I was playing, etc. Here it is for the month of February. I kept playlist, I kept webtoons, I kept the books read, and the main calendar for daily media that I was consuming on that day. And for March as well. As a sneak peek, this is what I did for April. So you can see I incorporated some more of these tiny icon stickers from Coffee Monsters Co. I haven't quite filled in the sidebars, but I will go in and add a little bit more pretty soon. Now we get into the weekly spreads. And this is where I have some of the biggest gaps because I did track my time pretty consistently for several weeks. And then about partway through February, I started leaving gaps. So it was a little bit up and down. Some weeks I tracked really well, some weeks I didn't. You can see there's plenty of empty spaces here. I do have some record of some of these weeks, so I probably will go in and backfill it. So someday when I've got some open hours and I feel like doing some art journaling, I'll just go in and fill in what I can. But I didn't want to procrastinate on filming this video anymore. So hopefully some of these spaces will be filled in maybe when I do my end of the year flip through. Stay tuned for that. After the weekly pages, we get to the daily pages. Admittedly, I have used this less for daily journaling than I would have hoped, but I think I'm just a little bit new notebook shy, if that makes sense. I've done a fair amount of ideation for self-improvement, but there have been fewer diary entries. So as you can see, January, there were only a few. I went from January 1st to January 3rd to January 25th. So, sometimes it just happens that way. One thing that prevents me from picking this up sometimes is because when I have a journaling backlog that I want to catch up with, that inhibits me from just filling it in spontaneously in the moment about what just happened that day, because I think, oh, I need to leave room. I don't know how much room I need, because I want to journal about that thing that happened last week first, because I want to do it in order. So, maybe I should just reserve space so I can fill it in later, but I'm also nervous about leaving big gaps. I mean, really, I'm just nervous for no reason, because this is all art and there are no mistakes, just creative choices. I do have a lot of pages left, and I am starting to wonder how I can possibly fill them. I was counting on doing a page a day, but as you can see, I'm not. Here's 2 pages for a whole week, and this was me in a good week when I was actually writing a little bit every day. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna fill, all of these. I would like to. I knew I was gonna do a page a day, but I wasn't gonna do a page a day, and that not doing it every single day was going to leave me room, was going to let me be flexible with additional spreads, things that might not just be a page a day, but more ideation, like this, where I was kind of working on some goals for like a learning project. I knew I would want to make a lot of extra spreads that weren't just journaling spreads, so frankly I would need to skip a few days just to be able to do everything else I want to do. It might have been a mistake to expect myself to start that daily page habit sort of from scratch. Even if I am journaling in the daily pages more consistently by the middle of the year, that's still like 6 months of very sparse daily pages, which suggests that I should do like 2 pages a day from now on to make up for it. And this is how a recovering perfectionist constantly moves the goalposts on herself. I did fail to do some monthly recaps, so maybe at the end of the year I'll go through and use those Creating & Co stickers that I wanted to for the monthly recaps. Maybe I'll fit that in at the very end of the year. We'll see. So I didn't journal a lot. This was most of the journaling in the first quarter. I think I used less than a month's worth of pages just in the first quarter, to be honest. But in preparing for quarter 2, I did try to take up a lot of room by doing a lot of journaling, a lot of ideation, a lot of brainstorming about some self-development, about some personal goals, about ways I'd like to restructure my routines and my habits, improvements I'd like to make. So you can see here, I'm trying to adjust my bedtime routines and figure out how I can make some improvements. Then my morning routines. Also recalibrating my mid-morning routines and sort of thinking through how it's really going to fit into my schedule and how I can use it as like a transition point to get into my workday. And I started breaking it down by day because I did create some daily schedules for myself. This one where I tried to shape my work routines. Shout out to Sarah Cannon and her HB90 program. So I worked through these ideal task blocks, and then this is what I put in my planner per day with a little bit of journaling about maybe what it would look like, just to really give myself that clear visual, that clear expectation. So this would be my weekend schedule, my part-time job days, my one writing marathon day, my house and rest day, and then another mixed creative day. And you can see I'm in the middle of this spread here. I started it last night and then I got tired and went to bed, so. Many people might be using their planners to plan ahead, and this is a memory keeper for me. I have other planners that I use to plan ahead. This is what I use to track what actually happened, what my life actually looked like. So, in conclusion, I'm going to leave you with a couple of recommendations for sticker shops that I enjoy and that I get a lot of use out of in this planner. So first I have to give a shout out to Creating & Co. As a writer and a reader, I'm a genuine fan of her bookish stickers. She has a lot of themed kits, a lot of reading challenges, a lot of really good, really appropriate stickers for anyone who writes, anyone who reads. Go check out Creating & Co. My second recommendation is Unicorn Eclipse. So the right-hand page really demonstrates the unicorn eclipse aesthetic. Very pastel, a little bit vaporwave, and I buy almost everything from these ladies because I just love their art so much. Here's another one with some iconic stickers from the Unicorn Eclipse collection. So there you have it. I still have quite a lot I want to do in this planner, but I am really loving it so far. I'm really happy with the construction. I'm really happy with how easily it lays flat. And overall, I'm just having a blast. Really, really enjoying this planner. So that was my Q1 Sterling Ink Common Planner flip through. Hopefully I will have a lot of great material to show you for the Q2 flip through. And hopefully I will make a good dent in some of these pages here. So if you have any great ideas for how I can fill up the back without daily pages, but maybe spreads or collection pages or any ideas like that that you might have, please feel free to share. I would love to read through your suggestions. Happy planning and have a good one, everybody.